endsars, endswats, and lock up all these terrorists that have terrorized the citizens of Nigeria for far too long.
Take it out on the streets, guys. This can't just be on Twitter. This can't just be a trend. We all have to lead by example.
Don't forget why we are marching. This is a peaceful protest.
SARS started back in 1992 and has since then been wreaking havoc upon the good people of Nigeria for far too long. The Nigerian youth are risking their lives for a better Nigeria. Meanwhile, the elected officials and government have spent their lives robbing Nigeria. Officers of the law put together a task force called SARS, Special Anti-Robbery Squad, that robbed the citizens. I've heard horror stories. SARS members taking citizens to ATMs to empty out as much money that the machine will allow. SARS was put together to protect and serve, not beat, kill, kidnap, rob, and rape.
They took my phone from me. They smashed everything inside my bag in case any other phone was there. Yeah, they tore my clothes. They were pulling my clothes off my body.
Nigerian police officers.
Nigerian police officers.
You can see why we are protesting. We won't stop.
2 years ago, on my birthday, I was arrested by SARS. They grabbed me out of the car and they put me into their van. I'm now in the back of a van, an unmarked van, because they're just carrying the van around with 4 SARS officers, and they all have huge guns, and they're now deciding they want to drive me somewhere. So that's the situation, because they just weren't even trying to let me go. So the main guy, who was the one that was always yelling at me and all this stuff, was like, when the Oga comes, he can come and explain it to us further.
Like now your brother has come, let him come and convince us more. Are you getting my point now?
Basically saying that, oh, he's going to give us money. We're going to wait for him to call. So I have my phone now.
Another meaning for SARS is an infection caused by the coronavirus. Severe acute respiratory syndrome, causing serious injury, possibly death, which is almost an accurate description of the Nigerian police task force called SARS. Because that's what you are. You are an infection. And the people that assigned you and put you together are the coronavirus. All y'all need to be wiped out. It's not enough to disband SARS and then come up with SWATs. You can call it swoops or twat. I don't care what you call it. If you have not fired and prosecuted the perpetrators of the crimes of those who have murdered citizens in Nigeria. Kidnapped, beaten, raped. And there are sources actually saying that the government hired thugs to sabotage protests and loot and burn and cause mischief to undermine the movement.
From the very beginning, we have continued to emphasize that all endsars protests are peaceful, and they have continued to remain peaceful till date. The government has introduced some unscrupulous elements to try and discredit our cause, but it can never work. And once again, we have seen signs of a failed government, a government that has told us that they are unable to perform their function. Guess what? Lagos State has just imposed a curfew, telling us that they are unable to control the violence. And once you lift this curfew, we are back. And this is my humble suggestion for when we come back out. I suggest we have our designated grounds of protest, so we know that in each state, this is where we're going to. In Lagos State, we report to this place, we report to that place. Even if it's just one place, the more we're together, the harder it is for them to pin anything on us. And we know that once we are here, and this is our designated ground of protest, anybody found anywhere else perpetrating any form of violence must be arrested and brought to book.
Like how they did here in America when George Floyd was killed. People came in from other states posing as protesters only to start riots and cause more chaos.
Cops say 27-year-old Samantha Shader threw a Molotov cocktail at an NYPD vehicle. Prosecutors say she has been arrested 11 times in 11 different states. This photo allegedly captured a woman identified as a human rights lawyer holding a Bud Light bottle filled with gasoline and tissue paper stuffed in as a fuse.
Police have reportedly dubbed her a professional agitator. Piles of bricks have appeared at the scenes of major demonstrations. There is speculation they may have been planted there, used as projectiles aimed at cops and storefront windows.
This right here?
Yeah, they put them
This the setup.
Ruben Lale filmed this pile of bricks outside a Dallas courthouse,
which caused the city officials to bring about a curfew to impede upon the momentum of the movement. Salute to all the celebrities that have pitched and lent their voice to bring awareness to these tragic acts of violence against the citizens of Nigeria. Celebrities such as Rizza Islam, Anthony Joshua, Basketmouth, Falz, Rihanna, Nicki Minaj, Beyonce, Burna Boy, tiwa, John Boyega, Chance the Rapper, Gabriel Union, and many more. Now that the world sees what's going on in Nigeria, it's time for the government to make a huge change. We're not even asking for the basic essentials. It's 2020 and no one in Nigeria should still be saying up NEPA when the lights come back on after being off for 2 weeks or 3 days at a time, then on again, then off again. Police need to be paid livable wages. There's no reason for people in Congress to be millionaires and some of the elected officials billionaires. Meanwhile, I'm being stopped on my way from Lagos to Anambra State 4 and 5 times by 4 different police because they're trying to finagle some extra money out of my pockets because they're not getting paid enough. Holding me up when I've made no clear traffic violations, asking me for the paperwork on my car, open up the trunk, pop the hood. Have you gotten an oil change? Is your transmission flush? Did you get your tires rotated? Are the lug nuts tight? Just so that I can pay them some money so they can leave me alone. Literally tipping the Nigerian police officers like they bartenders and waitresses. Because they getting paid like bartenders and waitresses. Granted, it's not as bad as the heinous acts that SARS has committed against the people. But this is the year 2020 and it shouldn't be happening at all. All perpetrators of the crime committed against Nigerian citizens by members of SARS need to be fired. The public needs to know who they are. And they need to be prosecuted, convicted, locked up off the streets. Salute to everyone that's doing their part and not just complaining and whining in the comments section. You have all been an asset to the movement.